Well, good day and welcome back to another one. This will be quite a bit different. Normally, I'm a pretty neutral fan, and certainly when I make my videos, I try and make them as neutral as possible. However, this one is going to be a little bit biased, and I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive specifically regarding the Warriors season. So, if you're not a Warriors fan or not too interested, please feel free to step away now. If you're not a Warriors fan but you'd like to see something similar for your team and you'd like to hear some of my thoughts, please do let me know. But what I'm going to do here is quickly look at the Warriors season so far and probably what, in a way, of what could have been for them. But I mean, they're still in the competition, don't get me wrong. I mean, when you look at their points differential so far, it's minus 22. It's and in 12th spot. That's not too bad. That says there was a lot of close wins, and we all know there was a lot of close wins or close losses there. But when you also consider that points differential of minus 22, and the fact that the Warriors absolutely got pumped by the Titans 66-6. I think it does say something. So I wanted to have a look at what that actually meant. Break down a few of those games where the Warriors could have won or were close to winning. So we'll mainly look at the losses, and then I'll have a quick look to see whether the Warriors are a chance to make the top 8. We'll just sort of see where we end up. So if we cast our minds way back to round 1, the Warriors played the Sharks at home, Mount Smart Stadium. With huge expectations. It was basically a sellout crowd. The Warriors went out to a 12-0 lead after 13 minutes, had an amazing start to the game, but they didn't score again after that. 13 minutes in and no more tries. The Sharks knuckled down and held the Warriors scoreless, scoring 16 points themselves. So the Sharks won by 4, so I think, Luke Metcalf scored a try in that game, and he's been a big loss for the Warriors this year. But little did we know at that time, so the Warriors lost by 4 points, but little did we know at that time that the Sharks would actually go on to lose only one game out of their first 9 games and lead the NRL ladder for quite a period of time. Don't forget also, it's just worth noting that one loss for the Sharks was against the Tigers, who are absolutely appalling. Round 2 was the Storm versus the Warriors away. Unforgettable game, really, and certainly from a Storm fan or neutral fan, what an incredible ending to the game. But the Storm led at halftime 18-6. The Warriors came right back into the game, and the Warriors led at 71 minutes by 26 points to 18. Pretty comfortable lead at that point. The Storm needed to score twice to regain the lead. Storm didn't score in the second half until those miraculous 2 tries in 4 minutes to take the lead and win. Definitely a game that got away from the Warriors. They were, for most teams, they wouldn't lose in that position, and for most teams other than the Storm, other teams wouldn't be able to put themselves in that position to win, and it took something miraculous for them to win. A game that the Warriors lost by 4 points. So it was a bit of a rocky start to the season. 2 from 2 losses after an awesome year the year before. But the Warriors did go on a little bit of a streak. They won against the Raiders at home. They won against the Knights at home, both by 8 points. And then they won against the Rabbitohs away comfortably 34-4. But the Rabbitohs had a pretty average season. Certainly the start to the season was very average. So we shoot off to round 6 here. The Warriors are back at home after a great win against the Rabbitohs, 3 in a row at this point, up against the Seagulls, and the Seagulls had a great start to this game. The Warriors were 16-0 down, and I just remember thinking at that time, well, there's no way the Warriors could come back here, but they did. They came back. It was 10-16 at halftime, so the second half they were right in it. Seagulls led 22-10. However, and then Sean Johnson scored a try, but he couldn't convert it. And I must admit, when I re-watched the highlights this week, that was a very kickable kick. One, it's just those moments, and I'd also say in the next 6 rounds and into finals, goal kicking is going to be so important, isn't it, for teams? That could be the difference, or likely will be. The Warriors finally score right at the end there. Try to Watini Zelezniak scoring in the corner with the conversion to come. Shaun Johnson converts from the sideline, so he missed the previous conversion, which was a lot easier. Misses that to go to 20 points at that stage. There was a drop goal attempt Shaun Johnson goes for the drop goal at over 40 metres, so it was a 2-point drop goal attempt, and gets knocked. His kicking leg gets knocked, and the Warriors get awarded a penalty. A pretty difficult kick over 40 metres, but pretty much out in front. Shaun Johnson nails it. The teams go to Golden Point, and no one can score for the rest of Golden Point, so it becomes a draw. I think there's only been 2 draws this season. That's one of them. So 22 all draw. Again, what could have been, but to be fair, the Warriors were very lucky even to get a draw out of that game after coming back from 16-0. Round 7, Dragons versus Warriors. Comfortable loss here. Let's just keep moving on. Round 8, Warriors versus Titans, 24-27. This was a home game for the Warriors, so a points differential of 3. The Warriors losing this one. It was the bottom of the table Titans. I don't think they had won a game before that, or maybe they had won one. I've noted this down. The Titans' first win of the season away against the Warriors. The Warriors just could not score there at the end. They had plenty of chances, but the attack was predictable. The Titans' defence was good, and they kept shutting them down, but you just watched it and you just thought, we just kept trying the same sort of thing. Nothing was coming off, and we just didn't have any creativity. Luke Metcalf this was probably that first sign. I mean, the Warriors had lost the week before against the Dragons, but this is probably the first main sign where you felt like the Warriors were really missing Luke Metcalf. So 3 points there, and that should have been a game they won. Round 9, Knights versus Warriors. It was an away game, a very close, low-scoring, wet game, very wet. The Warriors were, that's the point, it was close enough. The Warriors were a chance. The points differential was 6. It was 1 converted score. But yeah, I think there was just one loose tackle against Daniel Saifidi who scored there, and that was the difference in the end. So one that is worth putting on that list, it met that one single score category behind. And then round 10, you had the Roosters versus the Warriors. It was an away game for the Warriors. I'll never forget that first 20 minutes. It was just unbelievable. The Roosters have done that recently as well. A similar start to a game, first 20 minutes, just unstoppable. I don't think many teams would have been able to stop them when they get into that. However, the Warriors, what I do remember was they had just come off a bunch of injuries. They were missing Marcelo Montoya and a centre, and I just remember between Angus Crichton and Dominic Young, they were just tearing it up. So it was 38-18. However, after the first 20 minutes, it was that was the difference. I think there was the Warriors were 20 points down, so it was pretty even after that. Anyway, round 11, the Warriors versus Panthers. The Warriors winning this one 22-20. It was a magic round at Suncorp Stadium, and the Warriors definitely should not have won this game. I just want to talk about it because it still buzzes me out. Unbelievable results. One of the best results of the whole season. If you were to consider all games this year, that was still, out of all of the games in the NRL, doesn't matter what teams you're talking about, that was one of the best results easily. The Warriors should never have won. They had too many injuries. They had rookies. They had injuries in the game. Unbelievable result. And then in round 12, the Warriors beat the Dolphins 24-20 at home. And again, the Warriors shouldn't have won this game. The Dolphins were top 4 at the time. And so just another incredible result. And then round 13 was the bye. Round 14, Cowboys versus Warriors away. The Warriors winning this one 42-12 and tracking really well at that point. They've obviously won 2 big games, had the bye, and then they go into Cowboys away, winning 42-12. great win, unexpected margin. The Warriors were probably tipped to be close and competitive in this game, but 42-12 is amazing. Round 15, Warriors versus Storm at home, bit of a rematch after round 2. The Storm winning comfortably here. I remember this game a little bit for how well Jerome Hughes controlled the game, and the Warriors really didn't have too much of a chance. However, the Warriors did score the first 2 tries, but otherwise they really weren't in the game. They lost two players to the bin in the second half. I think there were 2 outside backs, and then it was down. They were down to 11 for a few minutes. Anyway, a little bit of that. The Warriors have had challenges like that all season in terms of players going off the field injured. Round 16, Titans versus Warriors. This one, I've probably talked about it in another video. It was this one, 66-6, the Warriors lost away. Most people will remember it. All I want to say about this one was it was an absolute low point in the club's history. Seriously, a very, very low point, one of the worst 5 games in the club's history or something. You can try and debate that, but the reality, it was awful, absolutely awful. And then I went to the Super Rugby final, and my team lost. What a night. Round 17, we had the Warriors versus Broncos. The Warriors winning that one 32-16 at home. It was a good win. Chanel Harris-Tavita and Tamari Martin, I don't know if you can remember, but they were just clicking so well at that point. And that game, they started incredibly well. Between them, they scored the first 3 tries. No Origin players or Adam Reynolds for the Broncos, of course. But anyway, good win to the Warriors at that point. Round 18, Bulldogs versus Warriors, 13-2 away. So points differential of 1. The Warriors were absolutely robbed in this one. Penalty with a few minutes to go that was just not called by the referee or bunker. We know this one well. I mean, Jamin Salmon was suspended and he's still out from that injury. Absolutely appalling officiating, and just an example of why a lot of us Warriors fans do feel that that the Warriors do get the calls go against them when they, at times they're always finding a way to rule against the Warriors. Anyway, I could go on and on about that, but we'll just park that there. This game is one the Warriors should have won. Okay, so it's certainly on that list. Round 19 was the bye. Round 20, Raiders versus Warriors away. This is quite a recent result, of course. Hudson Young scored 2 tries in the first 10 minutes, and it looked ominous for the Raiders. However, the Warriors got back into it. So Adam Pompey, he went off injured. The goal kicker, worth noting, so Chanel Harris-Tavita, he took over the goal kicking. He missed 3 conversions, one of them being very kickable, and he'll feel bad about that. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not ridiculing him in any way. I'm just saying that's one that the Warriors will feel like got away from them as well. Points differential of 2, and this game was certainly a missed opportunity for sure. So round 21, the Warriors beating the West Tigers comfortably. That was last week. The Warriors are up against the Eels this week and at home, that's tomorrow night. Should win that one, so we'll see. But the Eels did play pretty well against the Storm just for that first half. I mean, the Storm are amazing, aren't they? Anyway, so for the Warriors season so far, 6 games they've lost by 6 points or less, and that doesn't include the draw against the Eagles. 6 games. The Storm in round 2, the Bulldogs game, and those 2 are games that they really should have won. Of course, that Raiders game with that misconversion too. So I think those sort of 3 stand out to me. But if you converted all 7 of those games to wins for the Warriors, that puts them on 34 points right now, and that would put them in second place. Crazy, I know, but the point is they're there or thereabouts after all the challenges that they've faced in terms of injuries and players going off during the game, whatever. However, the fact is they are just so close, and I guess my main purpose for this video was just to know how close they were, and hopefully the Warriors do look at it from that point of view, as a confidence building point of view. I don't have any answers to why they haven't converted all of those things, those games into wins. Of course, one or two of them they should have won and were robbed a little bit, but forget all of that. The reality is they're close. But yeah, so one of, if not the worst injury toll in the NRL this year as well, although the Rabbitohs might have an argument to make against that. So yeah, look, just an incredible season. Other than that, very close. What could have been? I mean, it still could be, so we'll wait and see. But yeah, look, the other issue for the Warriors this year has been periods within games where they just seem to switch off or whatever, or the other team just has a period of 10 to 20 minutes where they just dominate, score a few points. You look at the Storm, last few minutes, the Seagulls draw that first 20 minutes, that game against the Roosters, that first 20 minutes, which was the difference. And of course, you could argue that against the Titans 66-60 the whole game, they just may as well not have gone out there. Are the Warriors still a chance to make the top 8? Yes, they are, but it's unlikely. If you watch my video from last night, I've given my thoughts on how the top 8 will look by the end of regular season. But yeah, if the Warriors win every game, yeah, they're in. I mean, they're still in a chance. Right now, they're 2 wins out of the top 8. As well as quite a few other teams. But yeah, look, this week will give us some idea with how the Warriors are going to go over the next 5 to 6 weeks. Of course, they've got the bye in the last week, but you've got Chancellor Clockstead and Shaun Johnson back from injury this week, and the big question there is, can Shaun Johnson click? Can he find some form that the form he had last year? Because he was incredible last year. The Warriors have decided to partner him with Chanel Harris-Tavita rather than Tamati Martin. Tamati Martin, probably one of the best players, when Shaun Johnson hasn't been playing. However, when Tamati Martin and Shaun Johnson have partnered the halves together, it's not necessarily gelled. So I understand what they're trying to do there, what the coaches are trying to do there. It's going to be fascinating to see, and I think that's really key though. Shaun Johnson's form, he won't be too happy with some of the results this year. Let's just put it that way. So all the best to SJ and the rest of the team. I'm still hanging on to hope. But yeah, I'd like them to be looking at the games that they've just missed out on, not to go, oh man, we've mucked that up. Oh, it's just not working out for us. But look at it from a positive point of view. We could have won that. Let's go do it from now. Awesome. Anyway, very different video. I'm not going to make bias videos like this very often. If you have been watching this, thank you so much, and do enjoy the NRL this weekend. Thanks.